Well, good morning, friends, and welcome to my channel. I'm Crystal, and this is Homemaking on the Homestead. And this is Friday, so we're going to do a little chatty kitchen table talk. It is my Coffee with Crystal day, where I just kind of sit and talk to you guys about various subjects that have been on my mind. I like to talk about, what's going on in the kitchen, what are we all cooking up and eating for food in our kitchens, and then I also like to just bring in anything else that happens to be on my mind or is relevant for me at the moment. So today I'm going to do a little bit of reflection on some of my Bible reading that I've been doing lately. I have just finished the book of Leviticus and I'm moving into the book of Numbers. And sometimes we look at those books and we don't really think of them as having relevance in our life, but they do. And I'm going to show you some of my thoughts on that, or share some of my thoughts on that, and maybe give you a little bit of update on my books that I've been reading and kind of a mini book review thus far. So, ladies, grab your cup of coffee and let's chat. It's funny how in December I was wondering, are we even going to get a winter? Because usually things are starting to turn cold in December. Sometimes we've had our first snow in December, but it was unusually warm and wet, and it was just like, well, I wonder if we're going to have winter. Well, let me tell you, we've had winter. And if you saw my last video, my day in the life of a stay-at-home wife and the blizzard and all of that, well, we're still dealing with that weather. Of course, the blizzard has come and gone, but now as temperatures are trying to warm up, we are being hit with freezing rain and sleet and all kinds of stuff. It's what's been falling this morning. I'm looking out the window. What's been falling this morning is like these little balls of sleet, little tiny white balls, and they're just collecting everywhere. The stairwell into our basement is almost completely full. In fact, my husband's out there shoveling it so he can get the firewood to come, be able to have a path to bring firewood in. The temperatures have gone from, at the worst, 8 degrees to now they're, I think, like 22 or something like that. So it's a slow warm up. And my daughter and her family still do not have water. Their pipes are frozen. So we've been praying that it warms up soon and that they get their water restored. In the meantime, they're coming to our house for showers and filling up buckets for flushing toilets and drinking water, doing laundry and all those things, which we have obviously no problem with, but I know that they would like to have their life back to normal again at some point. And for you ladies that live in the north, I'm sure your winter is still marching forward as well. It was interesting when I shared my video on Tuesday, how many of you guys were telling me, oh, I'm in the south, and our problem is like flipped to trying to make it and manage your way through very hot and humid summers. But for those of us who are in the northern hemisphere, then how are you managing? And do you have snow everywhere, or are you still waiting for that, or what's going on? The weather just everywhere seems to have hit the United States quite drastically. So, anywho, okay. What are you guys doing in your kitchens? That's always my question. Yesterday I was going to make cookies, and then I got sidetracked. My daughter and her family came, so I had grandkids here and stuff, and then was doing a few other things, got totally sidetracked. By the time I was thinking of getting around to the cookies, it was getting too late, so I was like, okay, tomorrow. So I have everything out on the counter right now. Butter's coming to room temperature, if that's possible. It's actually still feeling pretty cool in the house, and eggs are coming to room temperature and all those good things, so that I can make a batch of chocolate chip cookies today. And of course, I always ask you guys, what's for dinner? What are you making for dinner tonight? And again, I had so many new ladies sharing last Coffee with Crystal, all the foods that they were making and what they were doing in their kitchens. Absolutely loved it. I am so happy to get to know you guys. And, at any time, any of you want to just drop me a comment, introduce yourself, let me know, what you got going on in your kitchen, or anything else that you'd like to share about yourself. I would love it, because I have had so much fun, and it has been such a blessing to me to get to know so many of you wonderful ladies. It's just really amazing to me that we have this today, this format where we can get to know each other and enjoy each other's company. It's a lot of fun. So for dinner tonight, I have leftover hamburger bean soup. I made that yesterday, made a big pot of it, and so we're going to eat on that tonight and probably tomorrow night. I am down to 4 dinner rolls left, those dinner rolls that I couldn't make the day when the blizzard started due to the power outage. I did finally get them made. They turned out just fine despite having to sit in the refrigerator for so long, the dough that is. And oh my gosh, they turned out good. So I am going to be, we're going to be finishing up those dinner rolls, the big pot of soup, and some sort of vegetable on the side. Most likely it'll be a salad, although I do have a couple butternut squash in there that I would like to do something with, so haven't decided if I'm just going to roast them or turn them into some sort of amazing thing. But that'll be on my menu plan here within the next few days as I start going through my refrigerator and my pantry and pulling out things that I want to use and creating a menu plan from that. We were hoping to get out to be able to pick up some more groceries. We had prepped ahead of time for all this stormy weather, but it's now been well over a week and we still can't really get out right now. So especially with the freezing rain, snow is one thing. You can always put chains on, but freezing rain just kind of changes the whole thing. But if we get a window where we can race into town, pick up groceries, and get home, that's not going to happen today. But maybe in the next day or two, we will try to get out and get some groceries and wait for the thaw to come. I see temperatures coming up in areas around me, but we're kind of more into the mountains, closer to the mountain range, and so we tend to get a little bit different weather than the big cities and other towns around us. Okay, that is food, kitchen, weather, let me know all about it, ladies, in the comments. Okay, now I have something else I want to share. So I shared this maybe last winter, but I just want to share it again because I absolutely love this body cream. And with winter weather, dry weather, it just dries out my skin, something terrible. And, my hands, my face, everywhere. And for me, it's always been so hard to find a body lotion, body cream that doesn't leave my hands feeling greasy, or doesn't, if I put it on my face, doesn't cause me to break out and things like that. This stuff has been the most amazing. It is by the Seaweed Bath Company, and it says hydrating, soothing body cream with argan oil and shea butter. And I'm going to leave an Amazon link for you so that you can see it. My daughter was the one that first introduced me to this, and she bought it at like Natural Grocers or Whole Foods or something like that. So you can probably find it locally if you have kind of a Whole Foods type co-op type store or something like that. So I'm just going to leave the link so that you can at least look at it, and if that's your only option and you are interested, of course you can get it from there. And it is an affiliate link. I do make a little bit on those affiliate links if you purchase something through my link. It doesn't even have to be the product that I'm featuring, but I'm not trying to push things, and so I'm very cautious about saying, oh, go buy this, go buy that, I just put them there for your benefit, and I try carefully only to recommend things that I personally use and can say, yes, this is a great product. I was even thinking the other day, I've had so many paid sponsorship things that get sent to me. We'll send you this product if you mention this in your video, make a video about it or something like that. And as of yet, I haven't done any of them. And I don't have a problem with that. I see other people doing it, and I think that's great. It's a good way to make a little extra money on your YouTube channel. My biggest thing is that I don't want to be sent a product and then maybe I don't like it, and then am I having to do a review of how great it is when I actually don't care for it? If I'm going to do any kind of a paid sponsorship, it's going to be something that I definitely use and I would definitely recommend. I think there's a lot in the integrity of what we present and what we encourage people to do. So in that case, I haven't done any of those yet, but who knows what the future holds. But so far, the things I've sent is, I haven't had any interest in them. Like, I have to ask myself, if it wasn't for this, would I actually buy this product? Majority of them are no, I wouldn't. So anyway, okay, let's move on. I just want to quickly go over, I'm grabbing them here, the books I've been reading. So I'm about halfway through right now in, The Remarkable Women of the Bible by Elizabeth George. Really loving this book. Really loving it. I love all the details she goes and gives you, like, can you imagine, the feelings, the emotions she must have had, what this, how this would have tested her faith, how this would have been, such a challenge or whatever. And then as she works through those, of course, using scripture, then she always tends to go back and reflect on what this means for us today as women in our walk with the Lord. And so far, and I had already read a couple farther into the book and really enjoyed them. So I kind of felt like I was going to enjoy this book. Definitely, I'm enjoying this book. So when I'm completely done, I will give you a fuller, better review on it. I just wanted to give you kind of like a mid-January book update. Okay, this book, Passionate Housewives Desperate for God. I am also about halfway through this book. So I have kind of mixed reviews. I think I was hoping for something different by the title, but it's okay. I think it's a really good book if you are a mother with young children. I think it is a really good book if you are a woman who, is dedicated or desires being at home with your children, and you're looking for encouragement on that. I think it would be an amazing book. I think this would be a good book if you, like, as an older woman, if you know a younger woman in your life that fits that category, you might, think of buying it and reading it yourself to see if it would be an appropriate book to give as a gift. There's an undertone on the book that, all women should be homemakers. And I think being a homemaker is amazing. I would think it would be great if every woman that desires that could be and do that. And, I like to give even ways to live frugally and do things so that you can be home if you want to and if you can. It is not necessarily a reality for all women to be full-time homemakers. Some are while their children are growing up, and some make different choices after the children leave. Some they need to work out of necessity. There's a lot of reasons why a woman would need to work outside the home. So I don't like taking a, hard and fast position that says, all women must stay home. I don't agree with that at all. And so every woman has to make those choices for her own life with God. Prayerful decisions with her husband, the Lord, and, make it a lifestyle choice for them, their families, and all that. So there's a lot to be gleaned from this book. I can see in the first half, very encouraging in so many ways. Besides that, is just as far as the value of a homemaker, the value of a mother, and those types of things, and practical things for everyday life when you have young children. So I would really highly recommend the book to women that are in that situation, women who are full-time homemakers or desire to be. And if you're not, and you can't be a full-time homemaker, but you would like the encouragement that this book gives you, then understand that that is their position. So that is and I probably won't do another review on this book, so, I might, but, other than to make a review in passing. But, like I said, I'm going to finish it. I'm halfway through. It has really good things in there, very scripturally based, from so much of what there's two authors, and so much of what they share is definitely scriptural based. I agree with that. Moving on now. I have something that I wanted to share with you. So I am going through the book of, I just started the book of Numbers, and I just finished the book of Leviticus. I find that Numbers is a really challenging book to read. Chapters are very long, and sometimes they are just a lot of repetition of things that have already been shared previously in the book of Leviticus. There's a lot of detail in the law. Leviticus, they say that other than the Ten Commandments, the Torah has, the first 5 books of the Bible has another 600 and some odd laws in them. And so oftentimes you are going through those laws, and then you are finding out how to deal with it if these sins have been committed. And then Leviticus is also very much all about the building of the temple. Because at that time, after the children of Israel were brought out of the land of Egypt, headed towards the promised land, the presence of God was with them all the time. A pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. And when he got to Mount Sinai, they spent a year at the base of Mount Sinai, and God instructed them to build a tabernacle. It was a tent, because if they were to move, then the tent would have to be taken apart and everything would have to be moved to wherever the next destination was. So it wasn't a permanent tabernacle, but so there's a lot of detail about this. And then you get into the book of Numbers, and it starts numbering all the tribes. There were 12 tribes, and they each had the names of Jacob's sons. And they are then divided into camps by their tribe, and the Lord gave very specific directions on where these camps were to set up. And they were all to set up with the tabernacle in the center, and all the 12 tribes surrounding the tabernacle. So, this is my reflection now that I realize today, is that sometimes we read books like the Old Testament, and it really does take a lot of concentration, a lot of thought, but there are messages for us even today. And this was one that really struck me this morning as I was reading, living in the presence of God. When God was in the tabernacle, and we had the pillar of cloud, the pillar of fire, and his presence was there. And then there was the Holy of Holies, where you had to be careful about entering that. You had to follow the laws of how to enter into the presence of God. But everyone in the camp could see the presence of God. It was very obvious. And they all lived with God at the center. And I thought, what a great picture, because that was their foremost attention. Their reminder of God every day was that he was the center of their life. Basically, what this had me realizing is that is the same for us today. We, as believing women, people, need to live with God at the center. We always need to be living in the presence of God. Those reminders in our life that God is at the center of everything that we do. It was just such a beautiful picture to see the Old Testament display, and then to think about it in our lives today, and the importance of living in God's presence, with God in the center. So what exactly does that mean, and what does that look like today? And that is something that we all need to prayerfully consider. For me personally, having God in the center and desiring to live in his presence means that I am constantly aware of his influence in the decisions I make, in the things that I might say, the activities I choose to do, basically anything that I decide to do in my life. I always know that God is in the center, and that's what I consider before I make any of those choices. And today we don't have the pillar of cloud and the pillar of fire, but we do have the Holy Spirit. We have the Holy Spirit in us, reminding us of God's presence and keeping God at the center of our lives. I just wanted to share my reflections this morning that, how exciting it is as I read these Old Testament books to see such amazing pictures of what God created and what he established in the Old Testament, and see how it directly affects our life today. Okay, ladies, I think it is time for me to go make some cookies, turn on that oven, help warm up this house a little bit more, and keep waiting for our warm-up to happen. In the meantime, just keep moving forward. I hope that you found today's Coffee with Crystal enjoyable, encouraging, inspiring, or anything like that. That would be great. And don't forget to please leave me a comment below. Like I said, I have just loved getting to meet so many new ladies as my channel is growing, and I really value that so much, and I value each of you as well. I hope you guys all have an awesome and blessed day today, and a great weekend ahead, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.